Hey guys, welcome back to another art lesson with the Bakersfield Museum of Art. My name is Curtis, and today I'm going to be instructing you on a really cool art exercise called texture cubes. This is a really fun drawing exercise and pretty easy to do as well. Before we get started, I want to talk to you a little bit about an artist named Phil Paradise. This is an artist that's very near and dear to the heart of Bakersfield Museum of Art. Mainly because we have quite a few of his pieces in our permanent collection, and he has a really interesting grasp of texture. Phil Paradise was born in Ontario, Oregon, but actually spent his childhood right here in Bakersfield, California. He was a multidisciplined artist, best known for his watercolors and printmaking. While his early work represents a regional style of California, later on he would change his style as well as the subject matter as he traveled and lived in Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean. This particular piece, entitled Good Morning, is part of the Bakersfield Museum of Art's permanent collection and a really great example of what we're planning to do today. Notice the block-like nature of the piece. Each object that's portrayed in this work has a similar texture to its real-life counterpart. The grain of the wood on the fence, the softness of the flowers on the sunflowers that you see, and the smoothness of the leaves in the background. Now before we get started today, we're going to need to gather a few supplies. Luckily this project doesn't take very many, so most things you're going to just have on hand. Now the supplies that you'll need for this project are paper, a pencil, and an eraser. But if you have one handy, a ruler can be really useful as well. If you choose to, you can also incorporate markers, colored pencils, paint, or even crayons into this project. Now the first thing we want to do is actually make a cube. There's a few different ways to do this, but I think that this is a pretty easy way, so just follow along. To start off with, we're going to draw a square. Now you can use your ruler to assist you with this, but if you don't have one, that's fine, just freehand it. Then we want to go ahead and draw another square on top of our original square. Again, you can use your ruler to help you with this, but you can freehand it as well. Our next step will be to connect the corners of our squares. Now as you can see, I've connected the top two corners of our squares, as well as the bottom corner of our squares. Now you only need to do these because we're actually going to be doing some erasing next. Finally, go ahead and erase the unnecessary lines that are within your cube. Now your cube can be of any size. I just made mine a bit large so you guys could see it. Now that we have our cube completed, we have to decide on what type of texture we want to apply to it. Now it's always a good idea to have a reference image to draw inspiration from. Now I'm going to go with a soft texture for my cube, and I believe I'm going to draw inspiration from this. Now that I have my reference, I want to apply a nice soft furry texture to this cube that I have. To do that, I'm going to be making just light pencil strokes all around it, and if you can, follow along with me. There we go. Now our cube is all soft and furry looking. Is yours? Awesome. But if it's not, that's okay. This is just practice after all. Now if you want to see a few other examples of different textures you can apply to your cubes, check out this artist who is an instructor at the Bakersfield Museum of Art. They have some really great examples, including another soft cube, a rough cube, and a smooth cube. Something cool that they've also done is actually shaded the cubes in a way in such that a light source appears to be coming from the top left. Now if you're having fun creating these texture cubes, I would encourage you to take it one step forward and add a few details to it. This is what I've done with my furry texture cube. I've gone ahead and added a face, some ears, a couple of legs, and a tail for an almost perfect recreation of my cat Bagheera. Just kidding, Bagheera. Before we wrap up, here's some vocabulary that pertains to this lesson. Figurative, pertaining to representation of form or figure in art. Form, a three-dimensional volume or the illusion of three dimensions, the particular characteristics of the visual elements of a work of art. Gesture drawing, the drawing of lines quickly and loosely to show movement in a subject. Pattern, anything repeated in a predictable combination. Shade, color with some black in it to create contrast and depth. Texture, the surface quality of materials, either actual or implied. It is one of the visual elements of art. That is our texture block lesson for today. I certainly hope you've enjoyed it. I know that I had a lot of fun teaching it. Please join us again next time in our next art lesson with the Bakersfield Museum of Art. But until then, have a great day.